Hello, my friends. It's Nick. It's me. It's the ASMR nerd. And I've got another keyboard treat for you today. There's really never been a better time to be a mechanical keyboard enthusiast. There are so many incredible products on the market, and the amount of care, the attention to detail which manufacturers are putting into their keyboards these days is like nothing we've ever seen before. And they have to, because manufacturers really need to put in the work to make their products stand out in such a crowded market. They need something to make their keyboards pop. Well, today's keyboard has no problem with that. Today we are taking a look at this right here, the MelGeek Mojo84, which comes in this very eye-catching box and has a very eye-catching aesthetic of its own, as you'll see once we get inside. The MelGeek Mojo84 is a brand new product. A Kickstarter for it just launched just ahead of the time of recording here. And MelGeek sponsored this video and sent over a preview version of this board for us to take a look at here today. The Mojo84 is building on the success that MelGeek has had with their previous keyboard. MelGeek has earned quite a positive reputation for itself in the enthusiast mechanical keyboard community, specifically with their earlier Mojo68 product, which, as the name suggests, was a 65% mechanical keyboard. The Mojo84 builds on the success of that board by retaining some of its characteristic features, like its transparent shell, like its very unique visual design and aesthetic, which again, you'll see once we get on into it. But all the other features that you've come to expect from premium keyboards these days, an upgraded gasket mount system from its predecessor, hot swap sockets, custom switches as well, which I'm very interested to feel and to hear. And it takes all that and it just scales it up a bit to a 75% layout, which retains those F-row keys along the top, 84 keys in total, as the name suggests. So this isn't a review, it is a sponsored video, but MelGeek wanted us to be able to take a look at this product as that Kickstarter launched. So big shout out to MelGeek for sponsoring the video, for sending over the product. I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Mojo84 and a typing test as well. So you guys get to hear this keyboard up close and decide if it's something that you might be interested in picking up. On that note, the Kickstarter has launched just the day before I'm recording this, and the link, of course, is down at the top of the video description. You can click through there and check it out for yourself if you like. Already, the Kickstarter has blasted past its asking amount, and the super early bird versions are already sold at that price point. They're sold out, but you can still snag the early bird pricing for this keyboard, which is $179 US. But if you like what you see, like I said, you better get over there quick, because it looks like they are selling through very fast, and that is also a limited price point. So I encourage you to click on through on that link down at the bottom of the top of the description there below the video, and there's all kinds of other details about the board there as well for you to check out and snag that early bird pricing if you're quick enough. But that's enough of that. Let's take a closer look at MelGeek's Mojo84 mechanical keyboard. And here is the MelGeek Mojo84 mechanical keyboard in box, and it is a pretty eye-catching box, isn't it? We've got this very orange design aesthetic with big bold words here that say this is plastic, and I think that design aesthetic extends to the whole keyboard, you'll see what I mean once we get it out of here. But we've got these kind of symbols in black on this bright orange background, and it certainly makes a statement, doesn't it? We've got this kind of warning tape, like hash mark design along the front edge here. We've got the MelGeek logo on either end, little B, and on the back we have some specs over here, and they say here, have a good typing day. I always have a good typing day, and hopefully if you pick up the MelGeek Mojo84 you will too. That's the idea anyway. I guess that's their slogan, maybe. I don't know if that's for all of MelGeek or just this board. Anyway, over here we've got some specs. Mojo84, 4000 milliamp hour battery, respectable. Comes with the case. Oh, I see. The case is made of polycarbonate, so it is plastic, and again, you'll see why it's polycarbonate in a moment. ABS keycaps on here. Compatible with pretty much anything you'd want to connect it to, because of course this is wireless, so it'll connect to your Android or your iOS devices as well if you want. Switches. This is interesting. It says here, box plastic. I don't know what a box plastic switch is. We're just gonna have to find out. That's the first I've ever heard of one. Don't know if it's linear, don't know if it's tactile, don't know if it's clicky. Bluetooth wired or 2.4 gigahertz mode, which is nice. RGB LEDs, of course. And the whole thing weighs about 1 kilogram. And that's pretty substantial. It feels hefty just from the outside here. So let us just pop open these seals here. That's how you know it's a fresh unboxing. Seal still intact. And let's flip this back around. And let's see what's inside. So, oh gosh, guys. Okay, check this out. Need keyboard, not friends. I love it. It's so silly, but I appreciate the sentiment, MelGeek. I think we can have both keyboards and friends if we really want, but keyboard is love, keyboard is life. I get what they're saying. And then we have this very cute little envelope. I've never seen this before. This is quite something. Inside we have the user guide, presumably. That's really cute. And another thing, I've never seen it presented like this. That's a really fun presentation. Like I said, it's really cute, and it's unique. I've never seen anything quite like that. So this here is I see. We've got we've got Chinese on one side, English on the other. So this is talking about connectivity options. We've got wired via USB-C, 2.4 gigahertz wireless for a high-speed interconnect wireless connectivity, but it'll use more battery. Or Bluetooth if you want to connect and use less battery, or connect to other mobile devices that don't have dedicated USB ports, USB-A ports. Very good. And here we have, this is the full user guide, it looks like. Instructions for accessing the secondary function layer. Looks like we've got our bases covered there. That's good. Bluetooth multi-device pairing. Oh my gosh, we can pair up to 8 devices. That is more than I've ever seen before. That's substantial. Usually you're lucky if you get 3. Wow. Mode switch on the back. Various indicator LEDs along the side. It looks like a pretty robust package. And then Chinese. And this, my friends, this is the board, the Mojo84. This is plastic, as it says on the front, and right here on the space bar. Let's get this plastic out of its bag here and take a closer look at it. Also see if there's any other little bits and pieces in here. This is a very crinkly bag. Oh, it has a very good weight to it. That is substantial, you guys. Especially for a plastic keyboard. That's as heavy as some aluminum keyboards I've used. Okay, so we do have a few little extras in here. The design aesthetic carries around to the inside here. This danger tape hash mark kind of thing going on. We have, what's this? This will be the 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmitter USB dongle. There it is. Low profile. Very good. We have here, of course, a USB cable, which is really nicely color matched, actually. I really appreciate that attention to detail. We've got the orange housings with the translucency, which really does match the board, as you'll see in a moment. USB-A on one end, USB Type-C on the other. It's got this nice soft touch white PVC coating. I just kind of want to keep touching. It's very soft. It's a real nice feel to it. So that's nice. Here we have a little accessories package. Looks like it includes a keycap puller and maybe a spare keycap. Not quite sure. Let's see what that's about. Really nice presentation throughout here, though. Attention to detail with the styling and the overall presentation. There is our keycap puller. It's nicely molded, actually. It's kind of got a nice, easy to grip handle there. And you can use that to replace your keycaps. No switch puller included, but those are pretty easy to come by, and chances are if you're buying mechanical keyboards, you've got one already. So nothing else in there. No keycap or anything. I guess this is just showing that this is for pulling keycaps. That's what that is. That makes sense. I got it. Makes nice tapping sounds though. All right, and that is that. This rest is just a tray for storing all that stuff. All right, let's put this aside and take a look at the keyboard itself. And here's the MelGeek Mojo84 in its bag, which honestly looks like an anti-static bag, like you might get a PC component, like a graphics card in, which kind of, I don't know, it somehow fits the overall aesthetic in terms of the presentation. I'm going to remove this. I think it's going to be pretty loud. The bag is resealable. It's got like a zipper situation here. Check it out. seen a resealable keyboard baggie before. That's fun. And here is the Mojo84 freed from its bag. This is a heck of a keyboard visually. It makes a statement just like the outside of the box. And as you can see, the "This is plastic" slogan on the front is no mere slogan. It is also not just telling us that the product is made of plastic. It's not merely descriptive. No, it is literally the design aesthetic of this board. We have "This is plastic" here on our space bar, and we have all kinds of crazy stuff going on with the keycaps. They are very busy looking by design, but they are consistent in their aesthetic design, and they are certainly eye-catching. No photo. Logo. Not for resale. Not for resale. Everything in quotes here. Fascinating. And the F keys up here. F05, 06, 07, 08. This is a look. It goes for it, and I think it nails it. It's a very unique aesthetic. I've never seen it anywhere else. I have seen this keycap set sold separately, and I think it was MelGeek that sort of initiated or came up with this design aesthetic, which has gained a popularity of its own because it is so striking. And then if we turn it over, we can see that we have that hash mark kind of effect on the back here. We also have a piece of plastic, protective plastic on the back here, because the whole case is transparent polycarbonate. So let's take off our plastic protectors here. It's around the sides too. Plastic. Did you know? Burgerwork cross MelGeek. So maybe Burgerwork is the designer of this set, this aesthetic. I'm not sure. Not sure. Beauty. All right, so let's pull this off here. So satisfying. So satisfying. Okay, and then I missed a little bit on the corner here. Looks like. Then we've got the big piece on the back. You guys ready for this? Amazing. Incredible. Okay, so now that we've removed the plastic, we can look at the other plastic. The Mojo84 is an 84 key keyboard in a 75% layout. I know it's confusing, 75%, 84 keys, but that is what they call this layout, where we have the core alphanumeric keys. We have dedicated arrow keys down here, which is always a plus. We have a handful of nav cluster keys here in orange. And then we also have the full function row, the full F row up at the top, and 3 additional keys up here. So this is a very functional layout. It is compact. Obviously it eschews the numpad over here, but it's basically everything you need and nothing you don't. There's no redundancy in the layout, and so it keeps the footprint to a minimum while still packing in all the dedicated F keys, dedicated arrow keys, and some extra functionality over here. Honestly, one of my favorite layouts. Very functional. As we said and saw, there's this very bold aesthetic. This is the black on white. This is plastic aesthetic, but there's also the black version of this, which is darker for the alphanumerics. And I believe you can also pre-order that off MelGeek's website if you want something a bit darker, not quite so contrasty perhaps. But this, it really does make a statement, like I said. What have we got going on here? So let's move around the back. We have that plastic, it says here, BurgerWorks Cross MelGeek. Here we have the USB Type-C port, and we have the mode switching switch. So I've just flipped it on there. Maybe you can see some lighting through the keys there. There's a little indicator LED. And of course, one of the more striking aspects of this board, there's a lot of striking aspects about this board, but one of the more striking aspects is the completely clear polycarbonate case that lets you see all the innards. You can see the way the board is mounted. So one of the coolest things about this board is that MelGeek has a gasket mount design, and you can see the rubber gasket pieces here. And what that means is that the plate which all of these switches are mounted on sits underneath all the keycaps and switches here, and it is sandwiched between pieces of rubber on both sides, top and bottom, so that it gives it some flex and some give, as opposed to having like a hard mount with screws mounting it right into the case. The rubber gaskets give it a softer feel, a bit more flex, and a much more appealing typing feel and sound. They isolate the board, or the plate anyway, with all the switches and such on it. And then the PCB sits below that. PCB is in there, underneath the plate, underneath the gasket mounted plate. And the overall effect should be a very appealing one when it comes to typing. Gasket mounting was very rare for a while. It is becoming more common, but still is generally reserved for premium keyboards for the most part, and is a highly sought after feature by enthusiasts because of its beneficial effect for typing feel and sound. Let's flip it over here. On the back, like I said, we've got that hash mark situation. We've got 4 little rubberized feet to prevent it from sliding. We've got this kind of like dimpled look underneath. This looks to be dampening foam. Actually, if I bring it really close, you can see it's textured. So that looks like a big old piece of dampening foam in there that not only looks cool, but is probably functional as well. We've got a copyright 2022 here. Again, they're just leaning right into that aesthetic. We have length, width, height dimensions here. Love it. Very fun. Very fun. And the MelGeek branding right there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about these switches. I can feel under here. We have linear switches. So these box plastic switches are linear. Listen. No bump in that actuation. I'll bring it to this ear. And this ear. So smooth linear action from top to bottom. They feel very stable. They sound really nice too at first blush there. But let's pull off this keycap here so that we can get a better look at the caps and the switches. So the keycaps themselves are double shot. Evidently ABS, although I must say they have a nice matte feel to them that feels very PBT-like to me. But it's apparently ABS doing, I guess, a good job of disguising itself as PBT. The keycap profile is an interesting one. It is not OEM, it is not cherry. It looks a little bit like SA because it's got these spherical edges, a spherical profile, and a slightly scooped top. But it's not true SA either. It's not as tall. I think this is a custom profile offered by MelGeek. They have a few different profiles that they offer, and I can't remember what they call this one, but it's very appealing in that it's kind of got the height of something like an OEM or cherry profile, but it's got a little bit of that retro feel, just a bit, from the spherical profile and that scooped top, and it makes for a really visually appealing profile. There it is, you can see. Yeah, we've got a lot of sculpting going on here. Quite a bit of scooping. It comes up to meet the fingers. That's a real appealing profile for me. Anyway, I love that look. And it should be nicely ergonomic in that it is sculpted. So that is quite lovely. And I'm all about it. Very cool. I love it when manufacturers do something a little bit audacious and throw in a custom profile or something like that. I'm just sticking with the old standards. The keycaps feel decently thick. Like I said, they're double shot, so these legends are never going to wear out on you. They're literally two pieces of fused plastic. Very little flex to the caps themselves. They feel nice. And here is the switch. As they said, it is a box style switch. So we have this boxy enclosure here, which helps with stability. And that's quite apparent. There's very little wobble going on here. It's a very stable switch, actually. And it's linear, so just straight up and down. Let's pull this switch out and take a slightly closer look at it, shall we? So here's the box plastic switch up close and removed from the board there. I guess this is a custom piece from MelGeek. They must be designing and manufacturing their own switches, or at least getting an OEM to manufacture custom switches for them. You can see even the switches are color matched to the board, which is awesome. The attention to detail is pretty astounding. We've got the white stem with the box enclosure. We've got the clear polycarbonate top case, and we've got the orange lower housing. Looks like it might be nylon, hard to tell though. It is a 5-pin design, and of course that clear upper housing allows the RGB LEDs to shine through. We've also got a little window there that really allows that light to come through. Standard cherry style stem, and nice and smooth. Look at that action. Give it a listen. Really quiet. I think these must be factory lubed. They've got a lot of that smooth feel to them. Really no graininess, grittiness. Smooth action all the way top to bottom. Feels like about the standard 4mm travel distance, and it's a pretty light switch. I'd say about 45 grams. So it effectively feels like a more stable Cherry MX Red type switch, right? And again, really good stability. Just a tiniest bit of wobble on that stem, but it feels really solid and stable, moving up and down. A fairly pleasing bottom out sound too. Not the thockiest switch I've ever heard, but a nice sound. No spring ping, no rattle. Really a very strong showing, honestly. And then I discovered something else interesting. Underneath, we have south-facing LEDs, which will please people who might want to put cherry profile switches on here. There should be no switch and cap interference. And we have a pad underneath as well between the switch and the PCB. You can see that black mask layer basically. So that means when the switch bottoms out, it bottoms out against that pad, and that should help dampen the sound further. I don't know if that's just an individual little sticker underneath each switch or just a membrane, like a little foam pad that sits over the whole PCB. Either way, it will be equally effective. And it should really help the sound characteristics. Of course, it is hot swap, so if you want to take out the box switches, the box plastics, pardon me, and put your own switches in there, you are more than welcome to. No soldering required. And of course, you can swap out the keycaps if you wanted as well, but why would you? Because these keycaps are so perfectly matched for the aesthetic of this board. It says here clear in quotes, like clear. It's not really clear, but it is really clear. There's a little Mojo84 branding on there. I didn't notice that earlier. What a fun board from an aesthetic standpoint, from a build quality standpoint. It feels really good. I just noticed it says down here, you see this? Have a good typing day. That must be MelGeek's logo, and that's so cute that they just hit it right there. The attention to detail here, my friends, is remarkable. I don't know if I've ever seen a package that looks so cohesive and that is, so carefully put together and detailed, so thoughtfully constructed. Certainly very impressive aesthetically, and I bet it sounds pretty good too. So that's the next step. Let's give this thing a listen. And there you have it, my friends. That is the long and the short of the MelGeek Mojo84 mechanical keyboard. And it's a hell of a keyboard. This is, as I think I mentioned earlier, my first hands-on experience with a MelGeek keyboard. And I can absolutely see why it has garnered a very positive reputation for itself amongst the mechanical keyboard enthusiast community. These guys know what they're doing, and it is absolutely evident with the Mojo84. This is a very refined, very well thought out keyboard with lots of nice little touches and attention to detail that any mechanical keyboard enthusiast is going to absolutely appreciate. I have thoroughly enjoyed typing on this thing. You just got to hear it there, but it is it's so nicely dampened. It's got this lovely thocky, creamy kind of sound to it. Isn't that nice? Which is honestly sounds like something that is much more expensive than it is. At $179 for the early bird price, I think $200 after the early bird price on Kickstarter. This brings performance that is well above its price class. It feels fantastic to type on. It really, really does. And that's all without aluminum. This is plastic, as it says here, and it is very nice sounding, nice feeling plastic. So that's my take on the MelGeek Mojo84. My opinion on the thing. I will also say the keycaps feel really nice. This is a custom profile that MelGeek does, and they remind me very favorably of the MT3 profile caps that I have used in past and really enjoyed. So yeah, really impressed with this thing. If you would like to check it out and maybe pick it up for yourself, once again, that link is down at the top of the video description. At the time of publication, the Kickstarter for the Mojo84 has just launched, and they're already selling through fast. The super early bird price point is already sold out, but you can still pick up a Mojo84 at the early bird pricing, which is $179 US. But they appear to be going quick, so if you're interested, you better click on through on that link. Eventually, in the future, if you're watching this, in the far future, once the Kickstarter is done, I'm sure that this will also be available through MelGeek's website directly. So if the Kickstarter is ended, you might want to check for it there. But if you are in the market for a 75% mechanical keyboard, one that looks very unique, one that sounds amazing, one that feels incredible, one that shows an awful lot of attention to detail and great care in its design, the Mojo84 from MelGeek is absolutely worth checking out. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Mojo84 today. A big thank you to MelGeek for sponsoring this video, for sending over a preview version of the keyboard for us to take a look at here today. I very much appreciate their support of the channel, and I appreciate all of you guys for watching. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you found it relaxing, and I look very forward to having you back here next time. Bye for now, my friends.